Every hour, every minute, every second, there's something new happening with your favorite pastime. We got you covered here on sports news and fantasy advice. Get all caught up here on Pastimes on the Mic. Be sure to follow us on Instagram, X, formerly known as Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok. If you got any questions, shoot us an email. Gmail's down right there. Send us some fantasy questions. Questions you think better. Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, you name it. Just send us some questions. We'll be sure to answer it on our next show or when we go live. But this is Pastimes on the Mic, baby. How you boys doing today?
Doing good. How about you, Dennis?
Doing all right.
All right. So,
kind of a basic day.
Nick, you got a lot of heat on the take you took last show about Barry Sanders and Christian McCaffrey. That's our most viewed TikTok.
What are the views? How many?
We're at like 1,500 right now on that one TikTok.
Are you serious?
People are not.
It's safe to say I got the job done.
Can I hear the comments? What are some of the comments? Somebody had to say something.
I think
some 45-year-old freaking went wild. I could tell.
With the one comment, it was only one, but
really?
Yeah. It got a lot of love at 90 likes. I mean, I don't know.
Safe to say, Pastimes on the Mic host Nick File here did his job. Yeah, we're getting
one comment was actually my brother. He said, "That's crazy." Not gonna lie.
Crazy, but
no, I had a lot of people texting me saying that's just a bizarre. They were not a fan.
I have to say, it was one of those takes, and you know me, I'm a chatty Cathy. I couldn't even say anything about it.
No, yeah,
I was just so
I was laughing. I was taking
I'm sticking by it, man. CMC.
Yeah, die on the pole, Nick. I mean, yeah, you. That was outlandish for sure.
All respect to the guys that came before him. Look, I'll say this. I think he will finish when it's all said and done. He will be the GOAT. He's still the most insane player I've personally ever watched at the position. Obviously, I grew up in the 80s and 90s. You go back to the 50s and the 60s. But what can he do, though? What can't he do, man? It's insane.
I don't know about you, Dennis, but we didn't get to see I didn't get to see Barry Sanders, so I can't really make
2000.
Yeah, so I can't make that. I don't know about you, but I can't make. It's like the LeBron Jordan argument. I wasn't alive to see Jordan, so I can't really make the argument.
There were a couple of running backs that I remember being really good. And I don't know how good they are statistically if they hold up. But I remember LaDainian Tomlinson was really good.
Yeah.
Brandon Jacobs with the Giants had some really good seasons. Not that good. Or Tiki Barber, not that good, but still pretty good.
Peterson's another great name.
Adrian Peterson, Jerome Bettis, some other guys. But
yeah,
I guess I think he should be the front. He should be the front
Peterson,
runner.
right?
Who?
You're saying Adrian Peterson should be the front runner?
Oh, I don't know who the front runner should be.
I was just naming some guys from the 2000s.
I was kind of just thinking of some of the elite running backs. Listen, there is not one picture that has served anybody's legacy better in any sport, maybe anything ever, than the picture of Fat Eddie Lacy when he came back to the Packers and what it did for Aaron Rodgers' legacy.
Yeah.
I genuinely, because somebody in my fantasy baseball chat put it in the other day, that picture. And it made me realize people forgot prime Eddie Lacy was one of the best 3-4 running backs in the league.
Yeah, he was a monster.
Yeah,
he was really good. But what I was about to say was I think Christian McCaffrey is easily the front runner for MVP, and he's not going to get it. It's quarterback of the year award now. He should get it. I can't think of any other player who I can argue for him.
They were
Patrick
putting
Mahomes
side by side.
Had 2 stinkers. Tua Tagovailoa's had some stinkers. No quarterback in the league this year should win the MVP. We're through 8 weeks already. Who is it? None of them have had a solid game.
I 110% agree. Patrick Mahomes he's having a good year, but he's not having a Patrick Mahomes.
But it's just
year.
Mahomes.
People are saying Tua. He's not even the best player on his own offense.
No,
Tyreek Hill.
That leads you to say that leads me into what I was going to say was Hill. They have Hill side by side with McCaffrey saying who's going to win offensive player. I'm like, why aren't these guys up for debate for MVP?
Yeah,
it should be Christian McCaffrey, and second should be Tyreek Hill, and third should be AJ Brown.
That's what that's one of my topics.
I don't even think defensively. I don't know who would get it. Miles Garrett's having a really good season. Nick Bosa
A lot of people were saying Parsons on the Cowboys potential, but
I don't know. He started off really well, but the past couple of weeks, has anybody been talking about him? I saw a side by side where it's like Kayvon Thibodeau is better than him in every stat except one.
Oh, boy.
And I'm not saying Thibodeau is better than him, even though I'm wearing the G-Men hoodie. I'm just saying that I saw a picture of their side by side. I would take Micah Parsons over him in a heartbeat, but I'm just saying that there's not one defensive guy that like you could really look at. It's just like a game record.
No, I mean the last time a defensive player really stood out, I feel like, was Aaron Donald that year. That was 2 years ago, where he just was going crazy. And I don't think there's really a defenseman right now that's like, putting up crazy numbers like sack wise. I mean, you got your typical like guys that are like big names that are gonna show out, but still, I don't know if there's a defensive player that I'm picking to win MVP. They got to really be pushing like some crazy numbers to even be considered.
So when Nick, you had started off by saying, I think where I think Dennis knows where I'm going with this. I thought you were going to say that McCaffrey should be the MVP. I had no idea.
I think that too, and I obviously took it another step, but I mean, realistically here, if CMC wins that MVP, and I know the 49ers are kind of, falling from grace a little bit wins-wise, but, he's my MVP vote. But let's say the 49ers take it to another level here. They win the Super Bowl. I think that's just closing my case even more for the GOAT. Obviously, we got years ahead to even get into that more. But, Dennis, I got to agree, man. CMC is my vote for MVP. When you look at the numbers week in, week out, this guy is super consistent every week. And shit, he even leads the 49ers to wins by his lonesome sometimes when Brock Purdy's not really, playing at that all-star Pro Bowl level. So, yeah, and no QB has really stand out to me this season either. Burrow had that rough start with the lingering injuries.
Yeah.
Mahomes is just not, he's playing great. He's playing well, but it's not the Mahomes that it's like we're kind of used to. I think we're kind of a little spoiled with that. But I gotta agree. CMC is my pick for MVP as of right now.
The Jet game and the Broncos game, until Mahomes has like another like 350 passing yard game, it disqualifies him from MVP for me. Out. He can still be the best quarterback in the league, still be the best quarterback on the planet, but right now, just kind of in the doghouse until he gets.
So I got a question for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, in this where we're at right now in the season, who are you taking? Tyreek Hill, AJ Brown. And I feel like this isn't as obvious as people may think.
Yeah.
Because I mean, AJ Brown has had 6 consecutive. He just broke the record for most games in a row with 125 plus receiving yards.
It's me. I personally like AJ Brown better. He's one of my favorite wide receivers. He's one of my favorite non-Jet players in the league.
Yeah.
And it does kind of kill me to say because he is a Dolphin. He's a AFC East rival. I'm looking at Tyreek's numbers right now. He's leading the league in touchdowns, receiving yards per game. He has the most scrimmage yards of anybody. And, dude, AJ Brown, I will say this. I think he's probably been the second best wide receiver in the league this season, bar none. I think I got to go Tyreek. It's just I can't say the same thing about CMC and not say the same about Tyreek Hill. It seems like every week this guy just balls out week in, week out. I know AJ Brown had that little slow start in the beginning of the year. That's literally the only thing that's kind of like making me lean Tyreek a little bit. So I'm going with Tyreek Hill. He's having a phenomenal year in Miami.
I agree with you for all the points you just made. I thought Tyreek Hill is better.
So he passed Calvin Johnson. That's what it was. He broke the 6th straight game with 125 plus receiving yards, breaking the NFL record previously held by Calvin Johnson. And listen, Tyreek Hill, when he's on the field, he is a beast. I feel like this is really like AJ Brown's always been that, he's always arguably been in like top 10 receivers in the league. But I feel like this year is what's really brought him to the scene of being top 5, maybe even top 3, because there are people having that discussion right now saying, you got 3 receivers right now who you're picking, and it's usually Tyreek, it's usually Justin Jefferson, and now people are starting to talk about AJ Brown, but now Justin Jefferson's hurt. Obviously, if I'm starting a franchise, I'm taking Justin Jefferson. The guy's 23, right? So I'm taking him. But now it's like, Now Diggs,
Is he that young?
yeah, I
Right.
think Justin
Jefferson's
Jefferson.
very young.
You know what it is them going from
Him and
Diggs, to
Jefferson.
Justin Jefferson kind of threw me off.
Yeah, they've always been
And-
blessed with wide
And
receivers.
I dig Diggs was always good, but I feel like Diggs being on his own team and being that true number one receiver is what really brought attention to him. Like obviously he had that Minnesota Miracle on catch
Yeah,
against the Saints, but I mean I feel like this might be a crazy take, but I just feel like Diggs really popped off when he went to the Bills because now he had that opportunity. He wasn't like he was with Adam Thielen the whole time. It was him and Diggs. But yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have to agree. I was saying gonna say Tyreek Hill. I honestly thought one of you would have said AJ Brown. That's why I asked. But
you're probably looking at me, right?
yeah, you're
I love
usually
AJ Brown.
Yeah,
I will say this. If I'm starting a franchise today, I'm taking AJ Brown over Tyreek.
yeah. I
Hill.
mean, that's obvious because he's just younger.
Yeah.
Like if Tyreek Hill was 25, I'd be like, yeah, I'm taking Tyreek Hill.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
there's talks
But
of him top.
I also
possibly
feel like
retiring.
AJ Brown is like, I don't want to say more talented, but I feel like he is kind of a better overall wide receiver. I think Tyreek has him in speed, obviously, but
Yeah.
I like AJ Brown like for his size and everything else
Dude,
better.
he's
So,
like
yeah.
he's like compared to like Megatron. I mean,
Exactly.
obviously not as good, but he's getting there. But like his size and the way he breaks off routes is just
he's
a
a
beast.
monster. He's a monster.
I think it's kind of like the argument between like an elusive, smaller running back versus a power back.
Exactly.
It's that kind of argument. Like AJ Brown can get more physical and win those kinds of battles. He's almost like the Nordstrom version of DK Metcalf.
Yeah.
Just like the top tier version.
Yeah.
And, underneath him, there's other guys like Hollywood Brown is kind of like that, like a bigger wide receiver can get more physical. DK Metcalf, other guys, and then Tyreek Hill is kind of like the top tier, top shelf of the kind of like speed wide receivers.
Yeah, kind of like
which is kind of I think maybe. I mean, I don't know who else would be in that archetype. Maybe like Jamar Chase.
Yeah, probably.
Other guys, but it's kind of like I always kind of felt like that. Maybe that's like a little more of like a shallower pool. And then of course there's guys that could do both. There's guys.
It is a great question, though. Yeah, I feel like people, maybe outside of Philadelphia, aren't really realizing how great of a season AJ Brown is having. Like,
I mean, he's torched Washington both times. So
yeah,
I've seen it.
He's a monster this year. But I think Tyreek's just having one of those years where it's just kind of like he's kind of sweeping everybody.
Which is crazy to say because AJ Brown is just having a phenomenal year, and it's not even enough to be talked about in an MVP conversation.
Exactly. I'm actually looking at it right now. AJ Brown was top 10 MVP last year voted. It's kind of crazy to think about.
Well, they did change the voting rules last year.
Yeah.
People forget that now you have to pick. It's like the NBA and Major League Baseball. You have to pick, I think, 3.
Yeah,
the 3 guys to get it because there was the Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady year where arguably neither of them should have gotten it. I'm going to keep harping on that because Cooper Kupp won the Triple Crown and didn't get a single MVP vote. He had arguably the greatest wide receiver season ever, didn't get a single MVP vote.
Yeah,
I'm going to be honest with you. I thought the award lost all credibility when that happened.
Well, I mean, now that they changed the rules, you would have to think like now it's a little bit more respected.
I'm gonna say something that's controversial. I think Aaron Rodgers winning the MVP that year was a bigger disgrace to the award than Mark Mosley, the kicker for Washington, winning it in the lockout year. He wasn't even arguably the best quarterback. Joe Burrow led the league in touchdowns, won his division, and had almost a record in sacks.
You talking about 2020?
Yeah.
Yeah, Joe Burrow
21
was killed that year.
The year the Bengals wound up going to the Super Bowl. Obviously, voting has to be done before the playoffs, so that I'm not counting. But he won the division, led the league in sacks. It was one of the most sacked quarterbacks ever, and led the league in touchdowns as well. Or like yards per game or something like that. Aaron Rodgers only got it because he had a better season than the year he had before when he won the MVP. Only reason he got it. And to me, that's a stupid criteria. It's an unserious criteria.
You're saying Rodgers had the better year in his first MVP of the back-to-back And you're saying he had a better year the year
He
after?
had the better year the second year of the back-to-back. And that's why that's the real reason he won it. That's why they voted for him. Now, that's not like a me opinion. I remember the narrative at the time. It was, well, he did better when he won the MVP last year. And I said, like, that's stupid.
Listen,
like, that was dumb. Like, people were saying that on TV, and I'm like, how much is this guy getting paid? I'm doing my college radio show for free. Sub me in. Like, I could do it for give me a freaking Taco Bell quesadilla. I'll be there on Monday. Like, come on.
I mean, I'm kind of looking at the numbers right now. 2020, 2021. I'm not going to discredit Burrow at all. That was a great year for Burrow. Definitely in the conversation. But 2020 Aaron Rodgers, man, I feel like that was the better year than the 2021 season. 48. So I'm about to read off the 2020 line. Touchdowns for Aaron Rodgers, 48. Touchdown percentage, a whopping 9.1%. Interception percentage, 1.0, led the league. Only 5 interceptions that year. One of the most elusive and absolute, like, historic years of all time right there. And so like, cuts down his turnovers. QB rating of 79.8. That was 2020. So he had 48 that year, touchdowns. The year after, he had 37, still a pretty whopping number. Touchdown percentage dropped by a whole 2 points, 7%. His QB rating went down by 10 points, 69.1. I don't think he had the better year the second year, so I don't think that's the reason why.
It might have been win totals or something. I don't know what it was. But I remember people were at the time were saying he did better than last year. I agree with you. I thought at the time, he did better the year prior.
Yeah.
But I thought, and then when you look at his record compared to Brady and Burrow that same season, that they did better. Unless, of course, I have my years wrong. We spent way too much time on this.
Yeah, 13-4. Honestly, same record, too. 13-3 in 2020, and then they added the extra games, 13-4. So if anything, they had an extra loss to 2021. Look, I'm the sad Jets fan here. I'm going to defend my boy Aaron Rodgers when I can.
Yeah, I'm not.
2020, look, I think Aaron Rodgers is the 2020 MVP, bar none. I think no competition there.
I mean, you're throwing 48 touchdowns, 5 picks.
I concur.
Yeah, that is the most, like, what's the word I'm looking for here? Efficient season. Dude, like, 48 touchdowns to 5 interceptions. Come on. With 13
I agree with you.
I'm
talking about the second year.
Yeah, 2021, I think Burrow definitely has a case for it. I think Rodgers is definitely right there. I don't think having a kicker win the MVP is I don't think that's better than Aaron Rodgers winning 2021. But
I think it is. At least he was the best kicker in the league.
That's a little rough.
At least he was the best kicker in the league. Burrow and Brady arguably both did better than Rodgers. All right.
For sure.
You think he did better than Brady? Fine. Burrow is still better. You think he did better than Burrow? It's crazy, but sure. Maybe Brady was better. Okay. So I just thought that year was a joke. That was an unserious award.
I know Burrow had a great year.
So I actually kind of want to talk about the trade deadline that we just had pass for the NFL.
Current events.
Yeah. Sorry, Dennis.
It's my fault. I can't blame you. It's my fault.
So there were a lot of sellers, my team included, Washington. I kind of just want to speak my mind on that with Washington, and then you guys obviously, jump in. For the Jets, I honestly thought the Jets were going to sell Cook. I picked him up in fantasy thinking he was going to be a starting running back, and then I just had to cut him because they didn't do shit with him. Hopefully they waive him.
Yeah, I was about to say maybe they buy him out or waive him or something like that. I could see something like that happening.
But I kind of want to know where you guys are at with the trade deadline with Washington because I mean they sold both of their defensive ends and they got more for the defensive end that they took a year prior in Montez Sweat in 2020, and they used the second overall pick on Chase Young and only got a third. At first, I was mad because I'm like, you took this guy second overall, supposed to be a franchise player. Doesn't always have to be, but you think when you draft a guy number 2, that's a franchise guy for the years to come, and how dominant he was coming out of college. But I'm not that mad because now looking at it, they did get what they could, I guess you could say, because some people say you could have got a first for Chase Young, but let's be real. Washington was never a Super Bowl team this year. Never were going to be.
What a hot take.
But
That's a breakout clip. That's a breakout clip right there.
so first year with Sam Howell and Eric Bieniemy, you got to think. I was hopeful that maybe they would be a wild card team, and they were looking like it until shit hit the fan and whatever, what they do every year. So I'm happy they got a pick out of it. Would have wished it was at least a second. I thought they would get a first for Chase Young. I get he's been out, but still, that guy has he's side by side Nick Bosa. Come on, that's crazy now. But yeah, I'm happy they got something out of it. I just hope that that pick turns into something that's worth it, man. Because you just traded away a number 2 overall pick, and the 49ers are just absolutely dominant on that line now. That's opposite Nick Bosa and Chase Young. That's crazy. But
that's disgusting. They're
that's
get richer.
insane.
Yeah. Look, I mean, when it comes to Chase Young, yeah, it sucks. You wasted your. I wouldn't say wasted, but you used your second overall pick on this kid. So all they got from was a 3rd round pick, right? That's it.
Yes, from the 49ers.
At face value, I want to say I think you could have gotten more for him, but yeah,
like a second, right? Like a second.
Yeah, I don't know. A 3rd seems a little. I don't know. I think 49ers is they're paying
Finesse.
somebody, man. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like they could have gotten a little more, man.
They got a second. That's why I said they got a second from Montez Sweat. Obviously, he's been on the field way more, but I mean, come on, you got this guy second overall. Obviously, they didn't pay him shit.
The upside's there, yeah.
I don't know. Maybe they just trade him, get something for him, and we'll sign him in the offseason because we're not going anywhere type of thing. Because the 49ers can't pay him. Their 49ers are not paying him. It's a rental for them. I swear. I mean, if they pay him, it's crazy. I don't know where they're getting this money. But I'm looking at it as a rental, and maybe they'll go after him in the offseason. But still, a 3rd, bro? Come on. You're telling me you can't get a fucking second overall pick? I mean, a 2nd round pick?
I think I understand your angst. I do think that people latch on to the round number without attributing the round value to the draft pick.
Yeah.
So in the NFL, the 2nd round pick, you can have them on your roster for 4 years with less money than a 1st round pick. So you can argue for some teams, if let's say you're the Bengals and you're drafting in the 1st round, and let's say, I don't know, you have 14 wins this season, whatever, you're like a 29, 31, 32nd pick, whatever, late 1st round, you can argue a 2nd round draft pick has not just more value, astronomically more value than that 1st round pick.
Yeah.
And I think that's why teams are becoming more hesitant to get rid of 2nd round picks, as we're seeing later round players develop into better players. I understand what you're saying. Getting rid of a 2nd overall pick for the 3rd, and then Sweat was the 2nd. So you traded both of them for a 3rd and a 2nd.
Yeah.
That's it. Just the 3rd and a 2nd for 2.
So they got a 2nd from the Bears. Why the fuck are the Bears getting rid of a 2nd? I don't know. But and then the 49ers gave us a 3rd. It's both in the upcoming draft. We have 5 picks in the top 100. So I mean, that's not bad.
Not bad. Yeah. But I think maybe that's why the 49ers wouldn't go to the 2nd. I agree with you, though, that I think they could have done better.
It's a team like because the 49ers who are selling, and they want to win now. So why wouldn't they give up more to win now? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly, especially because they're already a good defensive team. I think other teams should have jumped at the chance to get a better defensive player.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like, I don't know. Like,
that's just like, I'm like, they got to, I don't know what Washington. I sit here, I die on the sword for this team, but they just continue to just fucking suck. They continue to just make bona fide moves. I mean, like, don't be surprised Washington has a talented young quarterback right now, and don't be surprised they draft a fucking quarterback this year because they're just so stupid. They're just so dumb.
Yeah.
And Ron Rivera needs to go. He needs to be fired. Jack Del Rio needs to be fired. Eric Bieniemy needs to become the head coach or whatever. I don't know why Ron Rivera still has a job. This guy's listen, like I said, I gave him his flowers for bringing the team up from the mud because they were just surrounded in dog shit. But now, you're getting to that point where, you said year 4, year 5 was the rebuild point to where they were going to become a playoff team, and you still suck. You still blow. You lost to the Giants. You put up 7 points to them, and they're arguably the worst team in the NFC right now. Sorry, Dennis. But it's just
okay.
I get it's division, and you see them twice a year, every year. So you get those. You just understand how they play the game. But I mean, you put up 7 points to the Giants, bro.
Magic Johnson, you hear that? You hear that, bro?
I just
tore you a new one.
It's crazy. It's just crazy, man. And I don't know. I'm kind of over it.
I would argue that a team that should have been more productive in trying to get Sweat or Young should have been the Jaguars.
Yeah.
And I don't know what their draft picks are, and I'm kind of doing this like on the fly here, looking at NFL stats and whatnot. The Jaguars have let up 111 third down attempts. Opponents have converted 38. 40 on fourth down attempts, teams have had 22 and made 10.
Wow.
That's the worst in the league for fourth down attempts. Now, this is a team that not only could win their division, let's be honest, should easily win their division.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They honestly, usually, teams in your division are harder and whatnot. Honestly, being fair, they should go 7-0 in their division, or 6-0. 6-0.
Yeah.
Honestly, the Texans shouldn't be a threat to them.
Mm-mm.
The Colts shouldn't be a threat to them. And the Titans are
they don't even have a quarterback.
Disaster.
I mean, Will Levis just went off and watched him suck.
And I'm not trying to listen, Mike Vrabel is probably one of the top 5 best coaches in the league. Sure. Maybe I'll give the Titans a win. You should breeze right through the Colts twice. You should breeze right through the Texans twice. You should easily win that division. You should be looking at a bye. Looking at what any NFC, any AFC
what are they right now?
East
6-2?
6-2.
Yep. Any AFC East team, whatever comes out of that division, it's a gauntlet.
Yeah.
AFC West is the same thing. Even if the Broncos and Raiders aren't good, you still have the Chargers and Chiefs. And I think the Raiders and Broncos can at least put up a fight, excluding a 70-20 loss. And the AFC North is another gauntlet. Of all 4 teams, you can easily talk me into any of those 4 teams winning the division easily.
Yeah.
The AFC South is a joke. And now you're going to win your division, and you're going to, like last year, go up against the cream of the crop in the league, and you're going to get your clock cleaned.
Yeah.
But it's I think that they had a perfect opportunity to get Leonard Williams from the Giants or Chase Young from the Commanders or Sweat or some of these other guys that got dealt, and they failed on it. What the Bears were doing.
Why are they giving up a second-round pick?
I just laid out why second-round picks have value, and I don't know. Listen, I don't know the NFL well enough to become a general manager, but once again, whatever you're paying that guy, hey, I'm probably cheaper. I don't understand. And the funny thing is, the Bears defense has actually been pretty decent this year.
Yeah.
I read on it that
awful.
they needed a edge rusher, and that was why they gave up so much. But still, the team is not going. They're going to be top 5 in a draft picks in the draft this year.
Even if you think Justin Fields is your guy or isn't, if you don't think Justin Fields is your guy, listen, they have a lot of options because they have their own first round pick and they have the Panthers first round pick. The Panthers just got their first win. They were the last winless team.
Yeah.
The Bears, how many wins are they going to get? Now I know they looked like the 85 Bears against the disastrous Raiders, who we'll get to at McDaniels in a bit. But it's, you know what I mean? Like they were looking at the first and second overall pick.
Yeah.
Insane.
That was realistic for them. So let's say you like Fields. All right, he was hurt. He's shown flashes or whatever. Now you could trade the first overall pick. Isn't Kirk Cousins a free agent after this year?
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
Okay. Isn't there's other teams too. Maybe Zach Wilson's not the guy for the Jets. trade for Bryce Young and get somebody to learn under Aaron Rodgers. So many teams could use a quarterback right now. My own Giants arguably could use a quarterback to restart the clock. The Raiders, any other team. So I don't understand. Like they should be rebuilding. They should be rebuilding. They're not going to be a threat to the Lions within 2 years. They're not.
No.
They're not. If
Lions,
Jordan
man,
Love pans out, are they going to be a threat to the Packers?
I mean,
If
Jordan
the Vikings get a quarterback, they sign Josh Dobbs. Maybe they re-sign Cousins. I don't really see why not. Are they going to be a threat to the Vikings? No, they're not. This team has never developed offense well or even adequately.
No.
And I said it last week that is really realistically since the merger, is Jim McMahon their best quarterback? Is Jay
100%.
Cutler better? Is Rex Grosserman better?
The Bears have always been carried by the defense.
And listen, I get it. Some teams
Poor
like their
Bears,
I'm not trying to keep yamming on them, but like some teams, they have their identity and they stick with it, and sometimes to their detriment, like the Yankees in power hitting. Sometimes it's too much. Then there's other teams that stick to their identity and it works out. The Spurs with defense, the St. Louis Cardinals with defense and pitching. There's teams that focus heavily on one thing and it works out for them. Other times they don't. The Bears should really learn it's not working out.
No.
It is not working out. The defense thing has not worked out for them.
I think the Bears just need to blow it up, bro. The Bears just it's a dumpster fire. Careers go there to die.
You're right. You're absolutely right. But the problem is, how many times have they tried to blow it up? I remember when they had Martellus Bennett, Jay Cutler. They moved on from Cutler. They moved on from Bennett.
Khalil
Mack.
Mack.
That's who I was thinking of. Khalil Mack, but he got traded kind of recently within the past 3 or 4 seasons, right?
Yeah, a couple
so,
years
but
ago,
before that, they had those guys. They had, oh my God, Brandon Marshall. They had Johnny Knox on the wide receiver, but he had a career-ending injury. I'll give you a pass on that. But they wound up selling off all those guys to rebuild to get to this point, just to have one of the top picks again, to have Justin Fields, who hasn't really panned out for them. So, like, I don't know how many times do you sell it to your fan base. Supposedly they're trying to build a new stadium. Are people going to go there? It's a lot. It's a lot. But I do think that them making this trade is very head scratching. There's no point in making it. Unless, of course, you're going to try to.
It's going to be a good pick.
Sure. Unless, of course, they're trying to sell Sweat on, hey, listen, play for us for this year and just work on recruiting him for next year. And maybe that, his potential is worth a second-round pick. Sure. What we've seen from him would say that he's worth a second-round pick.
Yeah.
But not a second-round pick if he walks in free agency. It's a gamble. We'll see how it pans out for them.
Like a sign, and like they would have signed him once they traded the second, like a sign and trade type of thing.
Yeah,
like, I don't know how they haven't. I don't know why they didn't do that. I thought I was going to hear like a little bit after, like, oh, he signed a 3-year deal worth X amount of money, but like he's still a free agent after this year. That's the thing. So again, he's a rental, and that's why I said Washington possibly could re-sign one of these guys. But I mean, if they traded him, they probably had they probably weren't planning on signing him after the season. They declined Chase Young's 5th-year option, so I don't know. Washington, you're saying all
his 5th-year option.
Yeah, this was pretty much like a Judge type of prove-it year deal with Chase Young. Like, go out there, show us, and if we're in a good position at the trade deadline, we'll bring in some players, and then maybe we'll consider signing you. But they didn't accept the 5th-year option.
I would have picked it up specifically to trade him, to increase his value.
Yeah. Like kind of.
Unless I do know he has kind of struggled. He had that one excellent season, got hurt, and still kind of worked his way back.
Well, I read some stuff on him
there,
too. Like he didn't follow the scheme. He kind of just always was going out there doing his own thing and trying to make that crazy play to like I don't know. But he's a 49er now, so that's their situation. I would have liked to sign him, but they invested in their D tackles and didn't invest in their D ends. They've signed Payne and Allen, so I don't know. They're gonna have a lot of money next year, so it's gonna be an intriguing place for like a GM or a head coach to want to go there. Yeah. And Dan Snyder's not the owner anymore, so that's a plus.
Maybe they bring Cousins back.
Maybe
that'd be interesting.
But I like Howell. I think. I think Howell's got the.
Howell's a baller, man.
Yeah, I think Howell's got the. All the tools to be a franchise quarterback. Just got to do the right thing with him. Washington never does.
Back to the 49ers real quick in the trade deadline. I was surprised they didn't really bolster up their secondary a little bit. I feel like that was the missing piece for that team. They're a juggernaut regardless, but
Weren't they looking at that guy on the Bears? But they didn't get him.
They were looking at Patrick Surtain from Denver.
What?
They were looking, yeah.
I thought they were looking at that young star from the Bears. I forgot his name, Jalen or something.
Yeah, I think
Horn?
I did.
No, not him. Not Jay. Not
Is that guy even still in the league? What happened to him?
He's on the Panthers. I think he just got hurt.
They have a good defense, the Panthers.
Yeah, but some more trade deadline news though. Josh Dobbs to the Vikings.
That guy's a journeyman, man. He just is all over the place.
Honestly,
he's a vagabond.
I guess we can maybe say this for the hot corner, but I'll just say it now because we're on the topic of it. Josh Dobbs is a fantasy league winner right there, ladies and gentlemen. He will win you your league at QB. He's got Jefferson coming back, Addison. He's got weapons, man. He looked
They
pretty
said
damn.
that it's hard for a quarterback to come into that system and not know it, like a McConnell's system.
However, to push back on that a little bit, and I understand what you mean, Guy, but for one of those like brilliant kind of guys that's probably too smart to be playing football, like I forgot where he went to school, but he is like a genius. Like he is like a really smart guy, like not football smart, like genuinely a really smart guy.
Just like academically a genius.
Yeah. And his reputation around the league was always being able to pick up offenses quickly, just really good with like figuring it out. And I think that's probably why he is a journeyman and has success, because that's hard, man. It's not like basketball or baseball. It is. We all know that the impact coaching has in football is much higher than the NBA, Major League Baseball, and the National Hockey League.
Yeah.
So, because it's saying you do this, like here's what you're gonna do, perform, and so like that's just the style of it. So for him to constantly excel at doing that, especially a lot of times mid-season getting moved or whatever, or getting picked up, I'm actually not worried about that at all. I don't know what the Vikings schedule is. I think it's actually pretty good. I went through it on my college radio show Monday. I think they're actually in like a pretty good spot.
I think they're 4-4.
They're 4-4, but I think it gets easier.
He's been on a lot of teams.
I was saying Dobbs just looked pretty solid for Arizona. You know how that franchise is. That's another kind of disaster.
That offensive line sucked.
Yeah.
That year they made the playoffs. I think I spoke about it last week, didn't I?
Yes, we did. Yep. When
everybody jumped on Kyler Murray, and it's like the offensive line could not have put in less of an effort. They sold out. They sold out hard. But after this, so they're 4-4 now. They have the Falcons. All right, so maybe your quarterback's not going to pick it up in a week. So 4-5 will be fair. Saints are the Saints world beaters. Then Denver. Then the Bears.
Denver's going to the Super Bowl.
Then the Raiders. Then the Bengals. All right, so you'll lose that one. You'll lose. All right, so let's be fair. Falcons 4-5. I think they're better than the Saints 5-5. Denver, that's a toss-up game. For argument's sake,
think
let's say they lose.
Denver.
You think they beat Denver? Guy, what do you think?
So. Who? The Vikings versus Denver?
Yeah, with
Dobbs.
Dobbs.
I'm with the Vikings, man. I don't know.
I mean, but shockingly, Russell Wilson is like he only has. His stats are actually crazy. He has 16 passing touchdowns and 4 picks.
Oh yeah, he's having a good season.
He's actually not having as bad as a year as people would say, because Denver's just like they look at Denver like what the fuck. But, I mean, I guess for the topic, I'll just give it to Vikings. Sure.
All right, fine. 6-5 Bears, they'll beat them. 7-5 Raiders. The Raiders are a colossal dumpster fire. 8-5 Bengals. 8-6 Lions. 8-7 Packers. I don't know. That's a toss-up.
I can see.
And they're home. They're home. They beat them on the road already. All right, fine. 9-6.
How I feel about Jordan Love, but I'd probably go with the Vikings for that one too.
Jordan Love's having a decline right now.
They could easily finish their season 9-8, or even 10-9.
Might sneak into
honestly
the last wild cards.
Honestly, with Josh Dobbs, just because they have Jefferson coming back,
that offense is ridiculous.
Yeah, and they're one of the worst running teams in the league, sure, by a lot of stats.
Hey, I was talking about this with
Maybe
Guy
a
the other
Dalvin
day.
Cook revival.
I was
They should've-
just about to say that Jets buy out Dalvin Cook. Hey, we don't need you anymore. We got, Brees Hall, Michael Carter, whatever. The Vikings, hey, little reunion. Let's, what we got to lose. This guy knows the offense better than
Kind of like
anybody.
Verlander back to the Astros.
Exactly. Yeah. Jets, Mets.
I thought-
Makes sense.
Yeah.
We haven't talked about it. I think it was a great pickup for the Bills. Leonard Fournette to the Bills.
Great,
Leonard
yeah,
Fournette to the Vikings would have been excellent.
Dude,
Excellent.
I don't understand Fournette's issue getting back into the league. I feel like he was solid enough to warrant a spot somewhere, even as a third stringer. I don't know.
Maybe his asking price was too much.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Maybe he was just waiting. That's what
waiting for a good opportunity.
Ndamukong Suh did last year. Ndamukong Suh. I always screw it up.
Sue, you're right.
So hey, look at that. That's what he did last year. He intentionally waited late into the season so he would be healthy.
And they probably,
JPP did that too.
they wait for like teams to like kind of what Patrick Kane's doing right now in the hockey world. Like
See
they're waiting who's going to playoff potential teams. So Fournette knows like at this point in the year, like, all right, the Bills are probably going to make the playoffs, even though they're a little shaky right now. But still, they're probably like, oh, this is a good landing spot. You got a young running back in James Cook. I can kind of mentor him. But yeah, it's not odd enough, but I get what you're saying, Nick. But it is, but players do that. Like you said before, like Sue waited for the Eagles and he signed there because, they're a playoff team that went into the Super Bowl.
Yeah. So I was maybe him being an opening day guy was unrealistic, but I'm surprised that he had to wait until week 8. I'm right with you, Nick.
Yeah, I was trying to say it took this long. Yeah, because I know Kareem Hunt.
He's
week 4, week 3? Obviously,
specifically because of an injury.
Yeah, but I don't know. I always thought there was a spot in the league for Fournette. I mean,
he's a good, decent pass catcher too.
Yeah, weird. But speaking,
I
always
thought he was much better than his reputation was.
Yeah,
Leonard Fournette.
Back in his days at the Jags, man, that guy's a beast, dude.
Let's see if he's a free agent in my fantasy league.
But speaking of trades, we're going to kind of
Samaje Perine right now.
Alter the sports a little bit here. Transition to the NBA. Big trade happened. James Harden. What a character this guy has been in his career. Now to the Los Angeles Clippers. Boys, what do you think about this?
Mute my mic real quick.
Dennis, I know me and you are probably big basketball guys, especially you. I need to hear your thoughts on James Harden being traded to the Clippers. Who won the deal? Not that you can really claim a winner yet, but like, who won the deal? How are we looking at James Harden and his future in Los Angeles? How that team's going to do? How you feeling about this?
I have no idea what the Clippers are thinking.
Just another guy to fucking handle a ball, man. Like Russell Westbrook
idea
needs the
what
ball.
they were thinking.
Harden needs the ball. Like, what the fuck are they doing, bro? Like, here, this is your headache now. Take them. Kind of like Kyrie. Like, this is your problem now.
They just got rid of their entire future.
Yeah,
the Clippers have like no draft picks.
I'm looking at the names. KJ Martin is an animal, dude. His dad was a beast, back with the Nets.
It's not just those 4 guys though. It's
all those picks.
It's just like a desperation move. Like it's
like Bones Highland is a ball dominant guard. He was so ball dominant that the Nuggets cut him. They got rid of him for like a second round pick. Second round picks in the NBA are much different than the NFL guys. I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to defend that. Yeah. The way second round picks get thrown around like candy in the NBA now is surprising.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't understand it. Harden and Westbrook was an unmitigated disaster in Houston.
Yep.
You're taking the ball out of Paul George's hands, who's been probably your best player. Kawhi Leonard's injury history will kind of back me up on saying George is better. Not skill-wise, not when they're both healthy. Leonard's better, obviously.
Just availability and stuff.
Is maybe Harden's going to play off the ball. He's shown that he could do it when he was in Brooklyn.
Or off the bench.
That's honestly, guy, that's their actual fit-wise. That's their best bet.
I just listen.
I don't think that that's what they're going to do. I don't think
I followed basketball for a little bit. I was always a big fan of Russell Westbrook. Like he was my favorite player when he was on OKC. That guy was good because he ran the offense and he had the ball in his hand. James Harden was good because he ran that offense when he was in Houston and he had the ball in
Mhm.
his hand and he would, go to the line. Now you got two
just-
guys who have played together before that both need the ball to be good.
Listen, let's make it easier. Throw out the stat sheets. You have Russell Westbrook, who's I think it's fair to say a little needy. We saw it with the Lakers and
He should be
how
coming
he
off
was.
the bench.
That's what the Clippers used him as last year, and he did fine.
Yeah.
And he showed in the playoffs against my Suns that he can still play. He can still win you games by himself.
Yeah.
Not often, but it has the potential. But you have to deal with that. You have to deal with the chemistry issues or lack thereof. Maybe I'm misreading the room. That's fine. With him and Harden, you're dealing with the very temperamental James Harden, Dixon Nets fan. He'll probably back that up.
Yes.
You're dealing with the injury circus, and yes, I do mean circus of Kawhi Leonard. When's he playing? If he's playing, does he want to play? Are we going to load manage him just for him to get injured against the Suns? What are we doing? And the only stable, steadying presence on that team, on that roster, is Paul George.
And
he
so,
even
like,
has a little bit of injuries too.
I was about to
yeah,
say,
and even he has injury risk.
Yeah,
so I
it's-
don't understand what they were doing. Realistically, and everybody's saying, well, they had the new stadium and they're going to have to sell season tickets. Realistically, their best option was using those same assets and waiting for the trade deadline to get, maybe a Pascal Siakam from the Raptors. Or maybe this is the year OG Anunoby finally gets traded. Unless, of course, the asking price is still 1995 Michael Jordan and 1973 Pete Maravich and 10 firsts. Because some of the asking prices for OG Anunoby are hilarious.
Yeah, Raptors are out of their minds.
Hilarious. Maybe you just wait. Or honestly, if I was the GM, I would just break up Paul George and Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah.
And just sell one and keep the other. It's kind of their only option because you're damned with them and you're clearly damned without them. So I don't understand their thinking. They don't have a clear direction right now.
They should sell them
Did
before
this
it's
team-
too late because pretty soon they're gonna be worth nothing.
Did this trade deadline, I must have trade deadline. Did this acquisition make them better than Denver?
No.
Did it make them
No,
better
it's
than
a bunch of
Phoenix?
name-heavy
Everybody's
guys.
healthy. Everybody's healthy. Did this make them better than Phoenix?
No.
Did this
No.
make them better than Golden State?
No.
Did this make them better than the Lakers?
No.
Then why the fuck would you do it?
And look,
Because
if
of the
you look,
name, I guess.
At
That's-
best, they're better than the Kings right now.
yeah.
At best.
I think they're a playoff team, but I do believe that the injuries and the availability, it's all going to catch up to them. Russell Westbrook's 35 years old. Harden's 34. I think Kawhi's the youngest of that bunch. That's kind of scary. That's a huge recipe for disaster right there. And look, I know what he did with the Nets or whatever. I'm usually a Harden sit. Harden's usually one of my favorite players of all time. I think it's such a bonehead decision. And in 2023, head into 2024. This isn't 2017 anymore. This would have been bonkers 6 years ago. But let's be real, it's not that time anymore. They're all old. They're all injured. It's not going to work. It's not going to.
Don't worry. He'll be towards the end of the year, and he'll be forcing his way out of here to go play with Kyrie in Dallas. So,
yeah, I mean, look, they're going to slip into the playoffs. They're just probably going to make it be one of the lower seeds or whatever, and then they're going to get creamed by whoever they play. Golden State is way too much,
I feel like basketball's
chemistry.
become more of a reality TV show than an actual sport, and it's sad to say because it's just not entertaining to me at all.
Soap opera from him.
It's just so annoying how many players just need to be on a team that they want. Like it's just it's so annoying. I can't stand basketball, bro. I can't.
It's like you can't even identify guys with teams anymore. You know what I
can't.
mean? Like Jordan Bulls, obviously, duh. Like, Karl Malone, Jazz. All right. Dude, I forgot Russell Westbrook was like with the Rockets at one point. Like that kind of slips my mind sometimes.
Chris Paul was with the Rockets at one point.
Yeah, Chris Paul, Westbrook, Harden. That's like the three horsemen right there.
Chris Paul was on OKC.
Yeah, Chris Paul was on OKC. Like, not a lot of people remember that down the line,
Carmelo Anthony on OKC.
Yeah, Melo bounced around.
Paul George was on OKC.
we talked about Dobbs being a journeyman. Like, yeah, it's Josh Dobbs. It's not Joe Burrow. This is like these are like
feel like
top
just-
guys right here. Harden, Westbrook.
They're getting traded because of their name. I feel like more so than like their actual like what because I don't know. Again, I'm not keeping up with basketball, but has Harden not decreased in value like his what he does on the court?
Here's the thing. Last year, it was a tale of two halves. He led the league in assists. This is how he finished off. And whoa, timer lamp just threw me for a loop.
Good morning, Denis. Hello.
Yeah, right. Jesus. Yeah, so he had a very good, like he was very good at passing the ball, facilitating in the first half of last year. Second half, and Doc Rivers had opened up about this and sort of touched upon it in an interview or two with Bill Simmons, about how after the All-Star break, he kind of became more focused on scoring and getting his numbers because he didn't make the All-Star team. And I'm a Bill Simmons fan, so I've listened to all the Doc Rivers interviews. I'm not the brightest bulb on the timer lamp or in the the Christmas tree, but I've kind of reading between the lines. I could tell that Doc Rivers was very frustrated with coaching James Harden and
I'm
was
sure.
sick of his shit. And that seems to kind of be slipping through the cracks through those interviews as Doc Rivers is doing interviews and whatnot. He's not a coach anymore. He's works for ESPN as a play-by-play analyst, color analyst.
So pretty much what you're saying is James Harden drove Doc Rivers from coaching to
No.
No.
Nothing against Doc Rivers. I'm sure he's a gentleman and a nice guy. His coaching record did that. How many 3-1 leads are you going to blow? But and the argument is, well, he had got to 3-1 leads deep into the playoffs how many times, and you'll win. But it's kind of one of those things like that kind of stuck with me as like Doc Rivers was also the head coach of like the 08 Celtics that had some locker room issues with Ray Allen and Rajon Rondo. As he got deeper into that, he dealt with Ben Simmons. He said dealing with Ben Simmons was easier than dealing with James Harden. He said that word for word. He said, what else? He's also coached with the Clippers, and he had to deal with the Donald Sterling situation, a disgraced owner whose team is being taken from them because of racist allegations. And to be honest, it's not like Chris Paul has the greatest reputation in the league amongst teammates, nor does Blake Griffin. So them together, I'd imagine, could have gotten frustrating. So for him to kind of hone in anytime he's asked about James Harden and all the politeness kind of goes away, and instead of saying he was a good guy or whatever, I think that's telling to me. And I don't know the people personally involved. And as Guy said, that is very reality television, whatever reality show after dark kind of analysis. But like that you'll see like, hey, welcome to the Bravo Network. But it is like when you hear former teammates or coaches say certain things, they say it for a reason. And when people double, triple, quadruple down on it, that reason I think is pretty dang good. So for him to kind of have a reputation from this coach, clearly his relationship with president of basketball operations, Daryl Morey, has disintegrated to nothing.
Yeah.
Who's constantly gone to bat for him. I don't know. And I think a lot of it stems from he got bad advice on what contract to accept. He got bad advice, and I don't think it helps him.
I don't know how they think this is a good. I just don't know how like the Clippers sit here and say this is a good move and this is what's going to bring us to the championship team that we always wanted. Because like,
I agree with you.
I just feel like you saw what happened when Kyrie went to Dallas. Like, they have arguably the best player in basketball in Luka, one of the best basketball players right now, and they still couldn't win. You added a guard in Kyrie who's, despite what
they used to play in. They were not a top 10 team in
their
the conference.
Despite, Kyrie's off court, whatever happened, he's still a great basketball player when he plays. He's a difference maker, and they still couldn't do it. So I mean, like, it's just like I don't know why people continue to, give chances, but I don't know. It's crazy. It's just crazy to me because like these guys just force their ways out of teams, go to other teams, and make those teams fucking hate each other.
They jumped the gun drastically The Clippers did. They should have waited.
I feel that's why I said I feel like it was more of a desperation move for them, and they're like, all right, like if we don't win here, like maybe we should sell.
And we talk about this, how it's such a bad move, and like we talked about who the Clippers acquired, James Harden, but like we're not even talking about what they gave up to get James Harden. Robert Covington, Nick Batum, Marcus Morris, KJ Martin.
They gave up all those guys. I thought it was just picks.
They gave up those 4.
They gave up
for the salary.
An unprotected 2028 first-round pick, 2 second-round picks, a first-round pick from the Thunder, and a first-round pick swap.
They gave up Batum?
Batum, yep.
And they got back PJ Tucker, right?
And Philip Petrusev. I've never heard of.
He's going to the Kings.
Yeah, so
that is announced. He's going to the Kings.
That's the farm. KJ Martin's one of my favorite young ballers in the league. He was great with the Rockets.
It's a horrific trade. I didn't know it was that bad, to be honest.
Yeah, it's rough.
That's horrific. Robert Covington is washed. I'm not gonna quibble with. Nick Batum. Let me tell you something about Nick Batum. When they're going up against the Suns last year, that guy put the fear of God in me.
He's always solid.
For September, October, November, December, January, February, March, that guy is just an above average player.
Yeah.
The second it turns into the playoffs, I don't know what that guy does, but he just turns into so I'm going to be one of the best defenders in the league and could legitimately guard 1 through 5 on the court.
Yeah.
I really like that guy. This is his second to last season. He said the last time he's playing is going to be in the Olympics in his home country of France.
So I think this might be
his
last year.
season.
Yeah, this is last year.
Yeah, it's
some players just show up.
Yeah, sure, but I just think on a team where James Harden is going to show up. No. Where on his postseason record does it say that?
That's the other thing. That guy has never shown up where it really matters most, whether it's elimination game or just in the playoffs in general. Yeah, he's just. It's a lot of stock for a guy who doesn't
Give
have
me Jalen Brunson over James Harden right now, bro.
Yeah,
all right.
Oh, that's not even a hot take.
Yeah,
I think 100 out of 100 basketball fans would agree with you.
It's just like I said, I don't keep up with basketball, but I just constantly see players on the move. Like, how can I not see it when it shows up on my feed? I just I don't know. It's just like I don't know. It's like it's just a headache. It seems,
There's no team loyalty anymore.
No, it's just like get me on this team. I want to play. I want to play here.
Shout out to Jokic and Giannis, though. Those two guys are really kind of holding it down in that aspect of the game, identifying a player with a team. And it does go both ways. Teams do have to scratch your back as well, for sure.
Yeah.
But I feel like in the NBA, though, it's kind of out of hand.
Sure,
it's like
Booker and the Suns, Curry and the Warriors, but
Harden
seems unlikely.
Harden the Nets. Yeah, it's like what? It's like I don't know. It's definitely it's a different era in basketball.
It's just like if it's different if like your future isn't with the team and like you're coming to a point like and the owner or the whatever understands that like I don't know if Lillard forced his way out of Portland, but he did.
Lillard, I'll give him an exception.
I'll give him an exception.
He was there
team
for a while.
They did a lot of disservices.
Like that's different than what's going on with
exactly
like Harden or Kyrie.
Dude, like Damian Lillard never had the luxury of playing with Durant and Kyrie Irving. You know what I mean? Like James Harden played with Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving, same deal.
Teammates that guy had over the years. Chris Paul, Dwight Howard, who was very good with the Rockets.
Wait, who? Harden?
Yeah.
Yeah, Harden. So yeah,
Chris Paul,
Dwight
Howard was the best player on that team in the playoffs.
Durant,
Russell
Kyrie.
Westbrook, Kyrie. It's so many guys, man.
Clint Capella, for a little bit there.
Yeah, Clint Capella was good.
Harden,
he was
right?
a bucket. Yeah.
Clint Capella.
John Wall.
Did you guys not hear
Eric
me say
Gordon?
Embiid? He played with
Embiid.
Yeah, Joel Embiid. Yeah. No, sorry, he played for so many teams. I forgot.
I genuinely forgot the team he just played for.
Yeah, serious. That's what I'm saying.
So,
God.
Yeah, man. Like I said, I feel like it just
hasn't played with each other yet.
Boo-hoo. No. I should feel bad for him.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Whatever. Next topic.
So I'll bring it up. We'll go from the older generation to now the current generation. I want to hear you guys' takes on this kid. Obviously, I'm a Nets fan, so I'm going to bring him up. Cam Thomas, is he the real deal? Obviously, he's not going to sustain this type of production all season long, but Are we thinking all-star, 20 points per game on
I
the season?
texted you. I said I don't know why this guy's not. Why is he coming off the bench?
Well, not anymore. And
He's not anymore.
no,
When I watched, he was. He was dropping 35, 40
the
off
first
the
two
bench.
games he was off the bench. And I think Cam Johnson's hurt now, so Cam Thomas is in the starting lineup, and looks freaking fantastic. How do you guys feel about
He should
CT?
be. Like I said, I think he should be starting.
Yeah,
I don't
he's
know.
starting as of now. That's mainly due to injuries, but I feel like
He should
if
have a
he-
spot. Like
if he
even when he
sustains
comes
this
back.
type of play, and I'm not saying 33 points per game, but averages 25 a game or something like that, and his defense has gotten significantly better. He's not an outstanding defender by any means, but he's a lot better than he was last season. So I think Jock Vaughn he's got to keep him in there, man.
So maybe some players are good off the bench, and that's just how their role is, and that's why he's good there. Or maybe he's actually
starting and still put up 30.
I think that might be a long-term guy.
Cam Thomas, long-term guy
coming off the bench because defensively. Here's the thing: I watched Cam Johnson for years with the Suns. He should not be coming off a bench for any team.
No, for sure.
He's so good as like a supplemental piece that he makes everyone else around him just better because he can just hit open threes and just defend. Once again, he can defend up, 3 or 4 positions on the court, depending on who the opponent has out there, and defend them very well. The Suns' defense last year without him was abysmal, but with him, it was elite. So, not just very good. They were, I think, like top 5 in the league.
Yeah, he's insane.
Defensive rating as a team when he played. So I'm thinking back to the articles that I written last year, but I don't want to take him out of the starting lineup because of that. So Cam Thomas as almost like a Lou Williams type role,
man,
just come off the bench and just score. Take advantage.
I also feel like
of
there's not that much pressure coming off the bench too.
Right,
There's
and he's
not.
a forward,
as there is
right?
as a top 5.
He's a guard. Oh wait,
Cam
Thomas? You asking?
Yeah,
he's a point guard, shooting guard. He's a guard. Yeah.
Okay, so who's their starting 5 right now? So let me guess.
So
Nick Claxton. You have Shadon Sharp.
No.
Don't you guys have that Sharp kid, or is that
Day'Ron Sharp? We have
Day'Ron Sharp. But he's not a starter.
No, Finley, that guy Finley.
Bridges,
Dorian
Finney-Smith.
Small forward. No. Finney-Smith's our second power forward. Well, with Cam Johnson. Now, Cam Johnson was our starting power forward, and then he's hurt, so Finney-Smith has now entered the power forward position.
Royce O'Neal?
Royce O'Neal is our backup small forward to Mikal.
So who the hell are your guards?
Ben Simmons is the starting point guard. Ben Simmons, hey, look.
Good.
Lonnie Walker?
Ben Simmons is off to a good start this season, man. Playing good defense, filling up the stat sheet. He's had a couple near triple doubles to begin the year.
8-8-10 he's at right now. He's
doesn't need to score a lot on this team. When you got Mikal, Cam Thomas, Cam Johnson, hey, just distribute, man. Distribute the ball, play great defense. Ben Simmons looks good.
That seems to be the direction they're moving in, and why I think it hurts Cam Thomas is they're becoming a defensive-minded team. However, if you have 4 elite defenders, which I don't know your thoughts on Nick Claxton, but if you have 4 elite defenders and one guy who can't guard, you can hide him.
Yeah.
So I don't know why they wouldn't start him, because who's the other guard? So it's Ben Simmons,
Spencer
Bridges.
Dinwiddie's the
You're starting
guard.
Dinwiddie over Cam Thomas.
That's what I was going to say. So here's what I would do. I'm no NBA coach. I'm no GM.
You're not?
Ben Simmons at point. Cam Thomas at the 2. Mikal at small forward. Cam Johnson at power forward. Clax at center.
I like that.
And then Dinwiddie 6-man.
That should be their lineup.
Coach Nick. But all credit to Jock Vaughn, though. I think that's where they're going. I think that's the direction. I think Cam Thomas has earned his flowers. And he has played somewhat better defense. Like I said, not a great defender by any means, not yet. He's still young. He's figuring shit out. But, hey, dude, 33 points per game. I mean, and with your other defenders and Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, Ben Simmons, and Claxton, I think you can be all right starting Cam Thomas.
Yeah,
it's a fun team. It's a fun young team. Honestly,
I mean, I asked you why he wasn't starting, but obviously I'm not full in on the Nets and what's going on. But I mean, what you guys say, it makes sense. But I mean, maybe he is just better coming off the bench. But are you saying you want him to start because he has the potential to be a starter, or because
think he
he's an
has
exciting
more.
player and you want him to be a starter?
Both. I think
Both?
he's an easily has everything that it takes to be a starter number 2 in the league.
Yeah.
With this team, especially that can help him out on the defensive side,
Whose
I
spot
think
would he take?
Dinwiddie's. And I love Dinwiddie. I love Dinwiddie. Dinwiddie's been an awesome net his whole career, whatever. But
He's a little older now, right?
he's a little older. That's what I'm saying. I think his contract's up next year too. So I mean, like, why not have the kid from in-house take over? This kid's averaging 33 points per game in the
I just
NBA.
don't want to see his like it mess up his growth and have him decline.
Yeah, I mean that is a point, but he has been starting now and still dropping 30.
This is
as a
good for
starter.
him. It's good for
Yeah.
him. It's good to see what you got.
Exactly. Yeah, I love CT, man. I think he should definitely be a starter. He should be the Nets 2 guard going forward, 110%.
I agree.
Um,
Knowing that it was Dinwiddie who was holding him back, I'm like, well,
yeah,
it
Yeah,
seems like
I
Cam
love
Thomas is
Dinwiddie.
literally just a better Spencer Dinwiddie.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is. Exactly.
So, whatever.
Yeah. So yeah, and the Nets have a nice young team, man. It's exciting what's going on in Brooklyn. Definitely refreshing after the KD era. But
It's probably nice to know you don't have to worry if one of your players are sitting out or playing,
exactly.
and people are just going to go out there and play.
I was
Yeah,
about to say it's you have consistency.
exactly. It's great. Much
No
better
headache.
defense. I really want to give Ben Simmons his flowers this episode, man. This guy, everyone, including myself, was raining this guy through the gutter, man. And he's doing what he does best.
It says he's averaging 8 points, 8 assists, and 10 boards.
Yeah, he's had a few near triple doubles, man, and he's playing some good basketball. I love to see it. His name's not really in the media like that as much anymore. So maybe he's just kind of doing what he does. He's just balling out. I'm hyped for Ben Simmons. I hope he keeps proving the haters wrong. But
you got to support your guy. He's on
Yeah.
the Nets, so you got to support him.
I know the turnovers are a bit of an issue with him. But
yeah, I don't know how many turnovers.
as he gets used to playing with these guys, that should probably
Yeah,
come a little.
beginning of the season too. These
Jesus.
guys are still shaking off shit as well. So.
What's this NBA in-season tournament?
Yeah, so I want to get your guys.
I honestly have no opinion on it because I don't know what it is.
Yeah,
Wanna be completely honest with you?
So Denis, I'll ask you this: how you feeling? And they're introducing it this season, the
This week.
in-season tournament. Yeah, for the NBA.
It's just a clusterfuck, man. What the heck is the NBA, man?
Listen, the in-season tournament is one of the first resulting type in NBA. Here we go. I'm opening the rules up. It's convoluted. The inaugural in-season tournament will tip off. This is from NBA.com. Friday, November 3rd, and culminate with the championship on Saturday, December 9th. The semifinals are December 7th, at Thursday. And championship will take place at T-Mobile Arena in Vegas. For a complete schedule, click here. I don't care. Group play, knockout rounds. All right, so I guess I should look into the groups. Oh, they have the groups here. There's 6 groups, and you got to win your group and whatnot. It's like a tournament.
Yeah.
So, does it go anything goes towards their record?
Yes. So here's how they do it. They scheduled it so you're playing other teams in your bracket.
Okay.
And it's like you kind of go round robin almost. So it does affect your regular winnings. And
Is it almost like the bubble, like they're all in one court, or
no, it's scheduled so like Friday, let's say, I don't know, I should probably get the actual schedule up. So Friday is the first round of games. It's going to be Cleveland at Indiana, New York at Milwaukee, Washington at Miami, Brooklyn at Chicago, Warriors at Oklahoma, Dallas at Denver, Memphis at Portland. So it's all the regular home games. It's like Cleveland at Indiana. That's in Indiana.
okay?
It just matters. Not only is this a win, it's a tournament win as well.
So, like, are we throwing a parade for the Knicks if they win the tournament, or?
It's one of those. A lot of people are like, oh, well, this is the stupidest thing ever. But it's like,
It sounds interesting. I'm not gonna hate on it.
It's the start of almost like a new league.
Yeah.
It's going to take time to establish itself.
Yeah.
It just is what it is. In 10 years, we'll have a different opinion. In 15, 20, 25. It's going to be a long process.
I mean, everyone hated on the play-in tournament too for the playoffs. So I mean,
and that seems to be like
now it's like not that big of a deal.
Yeah, and
It's
the
pretty
same thing.
normalized now.
Yeah, and anytime you change the format, people get all like,
Yeah, you're gonna have an
squirrely.
opinion. I get it.
So
I have the groups here if you guys want to see it.
So obviously there's 82 games in a season for the NBA.
Mhm.
And these tournament games, are they counted in the 82 game season? So like I'm just throwing out a random number here. Let's say there's 5 tournament games. Are those 5 games part of the 82 game season?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. So interesting.
So maybe they're making it a little bit more competitive. Like they want them to be.
The NBA sure shit needs it. I mean,
So like they're probably making it more so like there's like you're winning something almost. Like so you're fighting more so to get into the playoffs. I don't know. That's how I look at it.
It is very convoluted. As I watch the games, I'll probably be able to figure it out more. I don't like the name of the trophy. It's called the NBA Cup.
Oh boy.
that sounds like some like Mario Kart shit.
It's kind of like maybe a little European.
This is giving me huge like soccer vibes, kind of.
Yeah,
like,
it seems like it's something as the league is becoming more international. It seems like maybe people from other places will understand it better than I do.
So it's like the championship. You said the championships in Vegas.
Yes.
So
You
like
guys wanna go to that? Sure, those tickets will be reasonably priced.
I'm down. So the prize and league honors for the 2023-24 season, the in-season tournament prize pool will be allocated to the players on the teams that participate in the knockout rounds, with allocations increasing depending on how far a team progresses in the tournament. At the conclusion of the in-season tournament, the NBA will name an MVP of the competition and the All-Star and the all-tournament team. Selection will be based on players' performance in both group play and knockout rounds. It's definitely interesting for sure.
It's convoluted, is what it is.
Yeah.
So show me the groups real quick.
Okay, so here are the groups. The Western Conference, West Group A. You got the Shooter Grizzlies, your Phoenix Suns.
0-4 Grizzlies.
Yeah. The LA Lakers, Utah Jazz, and the Portland Trailblazers. Definitely an interesting group right there. West Group B, we got the Nuggets, the reigning champs. The highly discussed LA Clippers, the retirement home right there. The New Orleans Pelicans, Dallas Mavericks, and the Houston Rockets. West Group C, the Kings, Golden State Warriors, the Timberwolves, OKC, and the Spurs. That's the West. So these groups, so say you're in West Group A, if you're the Lakers, what? You're trying to eliminate the Jazz and the Suns? That's what's going on pretty much?
You're trying to win your own group. So
yeah.
Why not just make it the division?
I'm pretty sure you said that if you win your group, you move on.
You move on. Okay. Interesting. Then we got the Eastern Conference.
By the way, I love how they basically just give the Celtics a bye.
Nets, Raptors. Jesus Christ, that's horrible. Even as a Nets fan, I'll admit to that. Hopefully Cam Thomas just drops freaking 40 a night. But East Group A, Sixers, Cavs, Hawks, Pacers, Pistons.
Okay. Pretty fair. Well, Pistons, you're going to have some teams that suck. Like
the
Pistons. They're rebuilding.
East Group B is very interesting. It's probably my favorite one. You got the Bucks, the Knicks, the Heat.
Yeah,
and the Wizards and the Hornets.
All right.
And then Group C, as we discussed, you got the Celtics and a bunch of shit. So
and it's even called East Group C. They're giving this to the Celtics. Oh my god. Jesus.
All right, so let's keep reading this here, because I'm actually getting pretty intrigued.
Although the Magic, I like sneaky Magic.
Yeah, that could be
Franz
interesting.
Wagner, Paolo Banchero.
Let's see. The teams with the 3 best prior season records. Okay, that's just how they decide how it goes. Group play. Tournament nights will take place every Tuesday and Friday from November 3rd to 20th. That's a lot. That's a whole month. Wow. Jeez. With the exception of Election Day, blah, 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 blah. A team will play each other 4 times in the group play game. A team's record in these 4 intra-conference games will determine what the team qualifies for the knockout rounds. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, so I guess what I'm getting from this, like kind of what Guy said, it's just making this very competitive. I guess the NBA kind of does need that for all these guys resting constantly and shit. But the knockout rounds will consist of single elimination games for the 8 teams that advance from the group
So
play.
Is it like sorry, I just had a complete no, you keep going because I actually just forgot.
Okay, so the knockout rounds will consist of the single elimination games for the 8 teams that advance. Okay, so 8 teams advance from the group play.
Schedule that.
Beginning with the quarterfinals on the wow, that's a long time. This goes into December. quarterfinals on December 4th, 5th. Teams that win will progress to the neutral site semifinals on December 7th.
Well, yeah. How is it gonna work schedule wise if like you're out and you
Yeah.
have?
Guy, you're asking me questions I can't answer.
Dude, this is a mind fuck.
Like, I'm trying, man. It's
Yeah.
dense. It's dense. I haven't done
This
this
is-
much reading since I took like a law class.
I hope it's a trial run.
Yeah.
I hope this isn't
I like on paper it sounds great, but yeah, guy, the questions you're asking alone is kind of making me think this might be a shit show. Because
Listen, it's UFC 1. It's UFC 1. That's what it is. Versus a
Yeah.
sumo wrestler versus a kickboxer, and
this
this is it. This is it. Hey, it is what it is.
like, the Boston Celtics supposed to play the Heat, but they got the play-in, they got the tournament, so you gotta wait to play the Heat.
what?
You gotta play
double headers. That's exciting.
I don't know.
So you bought tickets
Just
to the
more
Celtics,
load management,
Pacers
okay.
game? Yeah, you're fucked.
I just got more load management. Got it.
So check this out. The championship right here. The championship will not be counted as a regular season game, dude. This is a mind fuck. Dude.
So there's no point in even playing it. So they're gonna rest people during the championship.
This
game.
is a funhouse playoffs, is what it is.
Dude, this is video game shit. This is some like 6-year-old just having too much fun on 2K right there. In each
The more I read it, the more terrible it sounds.
All right, what's this say? During the knockout rounds on days when in-season tournament games are not scheduled, the 20 teams that do not qualify for knockout rounds will each play 2 regular season games. Okay, that's what I was thinking. So the guys that get eliminated, they're just gonna play each other like it's the regular season. But like,
so they don't know what the full schedule of the season is. Then
yeah,
there's to be
I guess
determined
so.
regular schedule to be determined games.
Yeah, because I have tickets for Knicks Nets in January, so I mean the shit better not go on for too long. But it looks like it ends in December. So now I'm curious. So like, hold on, we're gonna bring up another tab here. I'm gonna look up like the Celtics schedule.
No, I looked up the Suns schedule,
and
there's no blurb that says to be determined, and there's nothing to quantify whether or not it's an in-season game or not. It's Wednesdays and Fridays.
Yeah, something like that.
There's Sundays and Fridays. I forget what you even said already.
Yeah, me too. I'm losing brain cells.
Those are the ESPN games. All right, so hey, we got a Friday night. We have an in-season tournament game against the Jazz. Boogity, can't wait.
Crazy.
That's
actually not.
To DVR that one.
Gonna share the screen one more time. I want to bring us back to that tab real quick.
Probably so they could be on ESPN. Is why they're doing it Wednesdays and Fridays.
Yeah, I guess so. Because so are the schedules out for like a team? Like you're a Suns fan, so is the Suns?
Yes. The schedules are out.
Kind of want to see the Brooklyn Nets one. I looked that up.
I just cannot believe the Nets. My God, that's a tough division.
Yeah, we're fucked. But so 2 teams, right? 2 teams advance from the groups. That's what I read, right? I think. Something like that.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, something like that.
You lost me. I don't give a crap about this.
I don't understand how a team gets eliminated and what happens from that point up.
Yeah, no, I read this whole thing and I still don't understand. Fuck it, whatever.
We'll watch it play out.
Yeah.
I'm sure as I watch it.
It's probably like it simplifies.
I can guarantee you James Harden's not suiting up for it. So
yeah, I really wonder how like a lot of these guys feel about this, the players. It's kind of interesting. But
they get paid $60 million to play a children's game. They shouldn't fucking cry, boo.
Yeah, no, seriously. Yeah, I just feel like out of me, I'm just like overcomplicating it. It just seems like a huge fuck fest. Especially like it's such a weird time to do it.
Sounds like NBA is losing a lot of interest and they're just trying to get people's attention.
Yeah.
I don't blame them. Their players literally don't play.
Yeah. It's a gimmick, dude.
It's stupid. It's so it is so stupid. Let me tell you something. The whole load management thing is such a scam.
Yes, thank you.
Such a scam. Because you're not actually decreasing. Listen, I'm not a doctor. I'm an idiot. But you're not decreasing your chances at getting injured. You're not.
No.
You're decreasing the amount of times you can get injured.
Yep.
But that percentage doesn't change.
If you play one game,
you play a game, if there's a 5% chance you get injured, that chance doesn't change. You just change how often the 5% chance occurs. Okay. Yes. So it makes sense. But what about practice?
Exactly.
Practice. Talking about practice? Yeah. What
Did
about
they even practice?
Let me tell you something. If John Stockton can play 82 games a season for his entire career almost, except for 1 year, true stat, can play in 82 games every single season, lockouts, whatever, we'll write that off, but only injured once. And go on to lead the league, the whole NBA in assists for career assists and steals, and have an excellent career, get to 2 NBA finals, never injured, never nothing. How come nowadays, when travel was better, when travel was worse, health was worse, guys?
Medicine and technology.
Did you hear the stories of Arvydas Sabonis chain smoking cigarettes during halftime?
Yeah,
on the loading docks with fucking workers at the arena.
insane.
Like, come on, like not for nothing. I don't want to sound like a get off my lawn kind of a guy, but like, and I get it. AAU and higher competitive basketball at a younger age. I get it. I get it. The wear and tear. I get that part of it. But come on. Like it is ridiculous with the load, man. They had to come up with this specifically to make sure their players actually play.
Dude, like
this isn't a problem in the NFL. They only play once a week. This isn't a problem in the NHL. I don't understand how guys can get the shit knocked out of them night in and night out in the NHL and play 75, 70 games or whatever and make astronomically less, guy.
Significantly less. That's insane.
And dude, like a $10 million contract in the NHL is like front page news. I don't know how many guys. I don't know what the most expensive contract in the NHL is, but I'd be shocked if it was over like 20.
I believe it's not. It's on. It's. I was actually looking at this. I don't even think it breaks. It doesn't even break 15.
That's a joke. Let me look that up.
Panarin makes 11. I think McDavid makes 12. And
is it Matthews the highest paid?
I think Matthews is the one who makes the most. I think he's like 13.
You're wrong. Connor McDavid 12.5. Oh no, I'm sorry. Somebody else does. Nathan McKinnon, $12.6 million a year.
McKinnon's the highest paid annually.
Yes, Austin Matthews is fourth, 11.6.
Doesn't even
McDavid,
make
12.5. I
knew it didn't break 15 because I had
14.
this conversation like last year and we were looking at it.
Carey Price 10.5, and he's like not even playing. Is he back yet?
No, I think he retired.
He officially retired. I remember he was in rehab, but I don't.
He Bobby Bonilla them, but yeah, dude. But like, yeah, it's like you look at Kawhi Leonard, man, and you know, I'm not trying to pin this on anybody, but I guess I am. He kind of started this whole load management bullshit back with the Spurs, dude. He hasn't topped 60.
LeBron.
Nah, not even.
No,
close.
LeBron. I give credit to LeBron. He's 38 years old. If he wants to take a game off, I'm not gonna bitch about it. Guy's 38 years old, and he's played what? 90 games, over 90
he
games.
Didn't start load management though. No way.
No, realistically, it was in 2014 with the Spurs when they started resting their guys, and it was that one game nationally televised against the Heat when Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili, and Tony Parker didn't play. That's the day. That is their That is the
weren't
big
they
bang.
Also like older too though?
Yeah,
like yeah. So I feel like guys in their prime though, like obviously he didn't like Embiid just this season. There was rumors of him sitting out the home opener for the Saints. It's like, dude, you're supposed to be a top 3 guy. And like, granted, he played and balled out, so I'm not going to use that example. But like, I know he's older too. Jimmy Butler, I know he's 34 now. Like, he's already resting. It's just like it's ridiculous, dude. It's like
bad.
I get it for March, April, whatever. Like the cusp of the playoffs. Sure, you made a playoff spot. Give Jimmy Butler's day off. You'll play tomorrow. Whatever. Sure. Whatever.
I don't even like. I don't
3
even
games in. Come on.
I don't know. I don't even agree. Like when like in football, when like they know they clinched the bye or they know like they made the playoffs, they start to rest guys. I don't even agree with that. I think you should still play, but a certain snap percentage, so you're still active.
Yeah,
you're still moving. Because when you take off, your body is getting used to not playing. Even that like week. That's why they even say like in football, is the bye week even worth it? Because, you get to rest your guys, but, people, it happened. Didn't it happen to the 49ers and the Packers when the Packers had the bye week 49ers played them and beat them in the playoffs, and they just looked
Something like
slow.
that.
It's just like, I don't know. I just feel like taking time off takes away from, in hockey they say in a 7-game series, sometimes players need the rest and it helps. Sometimes it doesn't help because your body's used to being rested. I don't know. It can go either way.
The whole thing is strange to me. I don't understand why they just. I don't understand it, and I get it. They play and train more year round than they used to. People are like, should we shorten the season? Should we get rid of back to backs and whatever? And it's like I just can't get over the fact that in the 80s, 90s, and 2000s, this wasn't a problem when the game was astronomically more physical.
Yep.
I just I don't know. I understand people hate on Shaq and Chuck and some of the media guys saying, when I played. But it's like, yeah, it was a different sport. I don't blame some of them for being mad that, like, wait, you get paid quadruple what I made. Your average is quadruple my highest salary when I'm way better than you, and I had to put up with all this nonsense.
Yeah.
I don't blame them. I don't blame them one bit. And anytime a media person asks them a slightly hard question, they go bitching and moaning to their agent, and they blacklist that reporter from interviewing them. Or they're just it's just a whiny league.
It really
It's
is.
a whiny league. It's a awful television product. The amount of blowouts it's bad for the sport. The amount of stupid replay reviews is bad for the sport, and it's hard to watch. It's hard for casual fans to watch. Like, I have the game on sometimes, and my dad or my brother would just sit down and talk with me. They're not basketball fans, so and they'll try to watch the game along with me. But like,
It's like
they
50%
kinda say
of
to
the
me,
game is spent at the free throw line.
yeah, or looking at some stupid replay review, or
Yeah,
if
that's what I said. Like, in the final minutes of a basketball game, you're getting it's all fouls. It's all fouls.
the final
It's
2 minutes
brutal.
of an NBA game could be 35 minutes easy.
It's terrible.
Easy.
It's brutal.
It's such a bad viewing experience. It is a horrifically bad
And I
viewing
feel like
experience.
and the free throws have gone up tremendously because of
Mhm.
all the players forcing fouls, because it's basically a free basket.
Yeah,
I feel like that's become more normal, and I don't know if that was something that was always normal in basketball, but I just feel like a lot of people are trying to draw flat fouls more to get an easier basket. You know what I mean?
and a game could be over by the end of the first quarter with threes.
Yeah.
And on the flip side, somebody can argue a game could be, a team could come back more because of threes, and that's fine. Sometimes they fall, sometimes they don't. But the amount of blowouts are just, it's hard. It's hard to watch
It is.
some of these games. It's really hard to watch. Last week, the Knicks and Celtics had a great game, and I was glued
I
to my
watched that.
TV.
That was a great game towards the end. That was a
But-
back and forth game. That was the opener, right?
Yeah, but other times, not so much.
Mm-mm.
Like when the Suns played the Lakers opening night. That was a good game. But was it the Lakers with Kevin Durant
This season?
Devin Booker? Or was it the Warriors they opened up with? I forget who it was.
Wait, this season with the Suns?
This season.
It was Suns Warriors, right?
I think that might have been the first game. I should know this.
I know the Lakers played the Nuggets.
Yep, it was.
Yeah.
They beat the Warriors 108 to 104.
Yeah.
And then they lost to the Lakers later on in the week, 100 to 95. But when they're 2-2 on the season. But what I'm saying is, some of those games are really close, fun games to watch, and then other times it's literally unwatchable because not only is it a blowout, it's a blowout with all the other bullshit.
Yeah.
The NFL, at least you can hope for like an interception or a fumble or something like. The game, sure, there's games where it's over early, but then there's other games where it, when the team is still in it, they're in it till the bitter ends. In the NBA, that's just not an option. Baseball, baseball, because it's untimed, theoretically, you can have a game go on for eternity.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's never going to happen. But, you can stay following it and stay watching it. The NHL with overtime, the NHL is constant pace.
Yeah, the NHL changed their overtime because they wanted to have less shootouts, so they made it 3-on-3. so it's
Yeah.
more likely to get a goal.
I actually really like the shootout. I don't know. If
Yeah,
you guys are bigger hockey
I
fans
don't
than I am.
mind. I don't mind the shootout. I think it's fine. I
First
mean,
game I ever watched ended in a shootout.
yeah.
That's sick.
But I mean,
It
I'm
was.
pretty
It
sure
what
it used
made
to
me a
be.
Devils fan.
Wasn't what Nick? You can correct me if I'm wrong. Was it 5 players? Was it regular, just 5-on-5?
So originally, how it was NHL overtime, it would be regular 5-on-5
20 minutes.
overtime. Yes, if no one scored, you go into a shootout. Now it's what? It's 5-on-5 overtime, then
No, it's
3-on-3.
3 on. It's
It's
3 on.
3-on-3 to start the jump, right?
Yeah,
think
and
so.
it's
So
like
now-
5. I think it's less. I think it's like 5 minutes. They don't do
Yeah,
20
and
minutes,
then-
like a whole other period.
Yeah, and then they go into a shootout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They tried to shorten it and tried to do less, which I'm a fan of 3-on-3 because I can't tell. I can't tell you the last time I saw a shootout with the Rangers.
It's more exciting to have the 3-on-3 than 5-on-5.
It's more exciting to win
There's
in
more
overtime
space.
than to win in a shootout, in my opinion.
Yeah, because I feel like there's more, you have the on ice celebration, you have your two teammates with you, you're hugging and shit. It's always
Yes,
really
it's
fun.
cut down to 5 minutes, but it's 3-on-3, and you're gonna have an odd man rush.
Yeah, exactly. It's fast paced. Well, yeah, no. I guess to cap us off here, do the Texas Rangers finish it tonight, boys? What do we think?
Dennis.
The fact that they were able to win 11-7 last night without Adolis Garcia is a testament to how deep that lineup is. That being said, it's not over till it's over.
Yeah, you gotta
The
get the job
Diamondbacks still
done.
scored 7.
Yep. Yeah, I know. I was watching that game and I'm like, dude, the Diamondbacks should not have scored 7 runs that game. I feel like the Texas Rangers, they played hard. They played great that whole game, but I feel like they're kind of like just letting the leash off a little too loose there. So, yeah, they got to be careful of that. But I'm going to say I think the Rangers finish it off tonight. I think they win their first ring tonight.
Guy, any
Oh,
thoughts?
I'll agree with you on that. I haven't been following, so
Nathan
for the
Eovaldi
Rangers.
versus Zach Gallen tonight.
hopefully the Rangers win something. Because my Rangers can't win shit.
Is there a camaraderie with the Rangers?
I don't think so. Not that I know of. I don't believe so.
Interesting. I'm a
But-
Giants fan. I have no camaraderie with the San Francisco Giants.
Yeah, so
No scares.
What about you, Dennis? You think Rangers ended tonight?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think the Diamondbacks. I still think they're going to win. It's just they proved me wrong three straight times.
I remember you
have to
saying
side with
that.
them.
Yeah, I just think 3-1's tough, but it's been done. We've seen it. So
See 3-0. We're
yeah,
Yankee fans, unfortunately.
yeah. Sheesh. Going back to 04. Yeah.
Guy, you
Well-
said you had something you wanted to save for the show. Did we get to it?
What did I want to say? I know before we started the show, I said I wanted to say something to Dennis, but I actually forgot.
Was it football related?
I don't know.
Probably.
It
football
probably
related.
it probably was football related. I don't know though.
Was it something to do with your boy Sam Howell? Was that?
Oh, I
something?
do have a hot take with Sam Howell.
Let's hear. It. Oh, yeah, we'll finish off the show with the hot corner real quick. I don't have one on top of my head, so I'll probably say something outlandish again. But guys, start us off.
I think Sam Howell is a legit quarterback in the NFL, and I think he proved that on Sunday against the Eagles. I'm going to say as good enough to be top 15 in the NFL in quarterback rankings. Take it as you want. I don't know. I think he has all the tools and mechanics to be I'm not going to say great. I'm going to say good quarterback in the NFL. He's young. This is his first season as a starter. And I think he got overlooked a lot in the draft, the year he got drafted out of UNC, because the year that he did have his breakout year at UNC, he had De'Ami Brown, Michael Carter, Javonte Williams, and all those guys left in the draft, and he had first round talks of going in the draft that year, and he decided to stay next year. So, I think getting Sam Howell in the 5th round was probably Washington's saving grace. Because I mean, as a Giants fan, I'm sure, Dennis, you've seen many different quarterbacks line up at Washington under center for years. It's every year. So I mean, yeah, I could be, jumping the gun and finally, saying like, oh, we have our guy. But I mean, listen, I've seen it all the way from Jason Campbell, Rex Grossman to Sam Howell, and I think this guy, has something. And, there's players even coming out and saying that he's like a franchise guy, and it's hard to put that label on someone at such a young age. But I mean, I really do believe that he's a top 15 quarterback in the NFL. That's my hot take.
Sure.
I wouldn't call you crazy for top 15, especially how we're discussing how lackluster overall QB has been this year.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't think it's crazy at all. I have Howell in a few leagues, so I might be a little biased here, but I think this kid has, written Pro Bowl talent all over him. He's going to be around for a while, hopefully in Washington.
Washington tends to fuck up a lot, so I wouldn't be surprised if he's like a Jaguar or something. Not Jaguar, but anywhere else.
Yeah, but I like it. Dennis, anything come to your mind for the hot?
I'm officially raising the white flag that he's better than Zach Wilson after like a 9-hour deliberation. After like a 9-hour deliberation last episode of like, what are you talking about? And then Zach Wilson gets into like an absolute grudge match with Tommy DeVito, who needs to get his fucking shine box because he played like horse shit Sunday afternoon against the Jets. So bad they didn't even let the guy throw. That being said, I feel bad for Tommy DeVito because he could genuinely be like a fantastic diamond in the rough quarterback, just with the worst offensive line I've ever had the displeasure of laying my 2 eyes on. So, mea culpa. I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking.
You said everything great up until the point you started saying Sam Howell and Zach Wilson were on the same level, and then I was like, Nick, I don't know what the fuck he's saying.
Yeah, that was some rookie starts are good, others aren't. And then sometimes in your first episode,
and I was a Zach Wilson supporter. Like I'm like, this guy got so much hate, and he's just been thrown. Like every Jets quarterback has just been thrown out there to die. So
Yeah.
I mean, and it's coming from me, a Washington fan. So it's just like Zach Wilson definitely has the potential, but I think he needs a year behind Aaron Rodgers, and I think it's showing too. This defense is carrying him to a lot of wins.
Listen, I've been watching the Giants all season long. That defense is not that good. Our secondary is so bad.
Yeah.
So bad. So bad.
Yeah.
That I lost so much respect for Zach Wilson that game.
He still needs another year behind Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
I think this was going to be a good year for him to learn, and it just sucks that
he's a project player. Whatever. I'll wear the L on that one. Sorry.
Yeah.
got a hot take for the hot quarter?
Me?
Yeah.
Evidently, we talked about it before the show started. That wins still matter in baseball. But I don't know. I don't know. Any hot takes?
Yeah, I kind of talked about.
I guess I could get weird with it. And I was looking earlier that Clippers are just going to miss the play-in altogether.
Wow.
But
after our long talk about the Clippers, about how bad they are and how old they are.
They're currently in 4th place. That doesn't mean shit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. My Suns right now, if it ended, would be in the play-in. And behind us are Minnesota, Utah, Portland, Houston, Grizzlies. Grizzlies are 0-4. They could still make the playoffs if they get it together a little bit. No Steven Adams for the season. Ja Morant suspended for playing with a gun.
What happened to Steven Adams?
Yeah,
some kind of
right?
Yeah. So his career might be over.
He's a good solid center.
Yeah, and that just sets screens like a brick wall. My God.
Yeah. He was one of the
watch the highlights of that. I don't know if you've ever seen the highlights. It really is unreal. That guys just run into him full speed.
What, Steven Adams?
Yeah.
No, yeah. When I was at Westbrook, I was like my favorite player. When I watched him in OKC, he was just a absolute menace.
Like a unit.
Taking nut kicks to Draymond Green. Yeah.
Listen, so
one way to get him to go down.
10 teams for the play-in. Denver is better. Golden State is better. Oklahoma City Thunder is better. Suns are better. Lakers are better. Right?
Yeah.
Warriors, Nuggets. I want to make sure I counted right. Warriors, Nuggets, Thunder,
Kings,
Suns, Lakers. And all right, so seven right there. I think Minnesota is going to be better. 8. They just kind of got to click. And then you bring in the injury history, and I think Dallas could be better. I think if the Pelicans, if Zion continues to stay healthy, they could be better.
Dallas has to be better, man.
I feel like Dallas has to be a playoff team.
I'm not selling Utah stock just yet. I really I don't know. Like I have no faith in them. The Spurs are off to a pretty decent start, but I don't know how long that'll last.
Yeah.
I have a lot of faith in Memphis to turn it around. They made a lot of moves and whatnot, and once again, no Adams, no Ja Morant,
How long's
We'll
Ja out
see.
for? Half the
20,
season?
25 games.
something like that.
I think it's 25. So a quarter of the season, close to it.
Okay.
So
a little,
we'll
a
see
little
how
more than a
they
quarter.
we'll see how they do long term, and I have no long term faith in the Clippers. So I guess that's my hot take.
Yeah,
So-
I'm gonna
Clippers
say,
are out. Is what you're saying.
Yeah, I don't
Okay.
think they're gonna be a top 10 team in their conference.
I feel like
I think
that's
they'll be 11.
I can respect that.
Yeah,
So
I'm gonna stick in the basketball realm of things, and I'm gonna stick with the narrative of who we were talking about earlier, Cam Thomas. I think he makes the All-Star team this year.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Cam Thomas, a little All-Star.
Homer!
Yep. Big homer, but hey, if he keeps that starting 2 job, he's putting up 30 a night. I don't see a reason why he can't be an All-Star.
Patrick Kane's gonna be a Ranger this month.
It's been his hot take for 8 weeks. But
Speaking of the Rangers, I'm going to the Winter Classic this year at MetLife.
So am I.
whoa,
I'm not
Hey.
going. I'm assuming you're going to the Devils game, obviously.
No, they have a Devils Winter Classic.
Yeah, it's
I
the
should have
day
gotten tickets
before.
to that. My friends
the
wanted
day-
to go to the Islanders
It's
Rangers
literally the day before they're playing the Flyers.
at MetLife.
It's the 17th and the 18th. Yeah.
Damn, I should have gotten tickets to that instead. Oh well.
Yeah, I got 2 tickets for me and my brother. We're going to the game.
Wow. Well,
Yeah,
pastimes on
see
the
that.
mic. We're gonna have our field reporters there.
I'm
at the
trying to get Nick
game.
to go, but he won't go.
Yeah, maybe I'll get Devils tickets.
I thought that's what
right
you
there.
would have. You're a Devils fan. I thought that was like
I'm such a casual Devils fan. My other friend who's a Devils fan lives in Baltimore now. My other friend who's a Devils fan, I've kind of lost touch with over the years, and we're not really like friends anymore. So like I'm literally it. I think my god brothers are Devil fans.
Hmm.
They're not a bad
But,
team to
like,
be a fan of right now, man.
Yeah, like they also live
They are
upstate, so
young
like
and
to
good.
get to East Rutherford is probably like kind of a pain in the ass.
I'm probably gonna drive there.
I don't know how I'm gonna get there.
I
I was
don't want
supposed to
to.
FaceTime with the people I'm going with to like plan everything, and then just said, "Get me a ticket, I'll pay you." Like I
Yeah.
don't the logistics of it, like
You
whatever.
got time.
Yeah. So maybe I'll get tickets to the Devils game. I'll just have to find friends to go with, because I'm not going to go all the way to East Rutherford by myself for a
No.
team that like I kind of sort of follow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Flyers. Yeah, I don't know anybody who's a Flyers. A buddy of mine from work is a Devils fan, but like I don't know him and I at a game together. That would be weird. We're not that close.
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah.
worried about the seats, how it's gonna look, because I know it's like 10 times smaller than a football stadium. So it's like you're gonna be up in the stands and you're gonna be like gonna need binoculars.
If it
Yeah,
helps,
I don't know.
I saw the Bruins versus the Penguins at the Winter Classic last year at Fenway, and you know how Fenway is. That's an already a mind fuck of a stadium.
The
Yeah.
seating gets dicey. Yeah,
Seating is dicey. We
Fuck
sat in right
pillars and
field.
shit.
We sat in right field. I would bring a pair of binoculars or something. Heads
Yeah.
up. Yeah, like especially
Well,
for football.
I bought tickets
Whoop.
up and behind the net. I know behind the net's probably not the best,
That's why I was behind the net. Yeah,
but I'm up high so I can at least see over. Because
I was
feel
about
like
to
if you're in
say,
the
I feel-
100s, you're kind of like screwed.
I feel like a football stadium, like MetLife, works a lot better for a hockey game because you're gonna be up high. You're gonna see like a bird's eye view, kind of.
That's
of
what I
the
feel like
ice.
you would want to be.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it should be all right. It should be good.
I think we're up high in center ice.
That's good. I was looking at everything center ice
So-
was like $500, so it was pretty.
Can't beat
Maybe
center
not then.
ice.
I paid $140. So whatever I paid,
You might
better
be
fucking
100,
worth it.
and that might be up in the 300s behind the net because that's what I was looking for.
Yeah,
That's what I looked at.
maybe I should have been on that FaceTime call instead of
Maybe.
watching Law and Order. I'm happy with my decision. I made it.
There you go. Hey,
You
it's
know,
always
Nick knows how I am with Law and Order. I can't get enough.
nope.
I'm like,
All right.
I'm it's cooking.
Well,
All
Addiction.
right.
you heard it here, folks. We got 2 field reporters going to the Winter Classic this year, so hopefully we get some good interviews and stuff.
Yes.
But yeah, this was episode 8 of Pastimes on the Mic. That wraps up our show for today. Thank you for tuning in. For any questions, send us an email, please. We want to answer some of your questions. Fantasy advice, who you think's better all time, Michael Jordan, LeBron. We'll answer for you here. I'm sure we got different answers all across the board here. But thank you everybody for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time here on Pastimes on the Mic.